All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the No Huddle Fantasy Football Podcast. My name's Jake.
I'm Kirtley.
Let's get to it. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in today. We got something fun going on. We've done our top 10 running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks. So today we got a couple buddies as well as we're using a computer to do a mock draft. So we're going to run through a mock draft, kind of tell you our thoughts, what we're looking at early in this football season. Kirtley, what do you think?
Yeah, so our goal with this is to kind of show you guys what our thought process is as we're going through these drafts and just kind of our strategies we'll take. And so we've got the computer drafting it, like he said, and some other guys. So we'll get some scenarios and just kind of
we got some buddies.
We got strategies.
We got some buddies that we play a lot of fantasy with. We got some buddies that sort of know what they're doing. So it'll be fun. It'll hopefully equal out the computer to not make some dumb picks and kind of just make it more realistic. It's what are we doing? One quarterback?
Yeah, it's one QB, PPR, 12-man. I said that real weird.
Yeah.
12-man, one QB, PPR.
Yeah.
So pretty standard league. It's a pretty basic setup.
Yep. So we have our buddy at spot number 1. His name's Blake. We got computer at number 2. I'm at number 3. Our buddy Christian's at 4. Our buddy Max is at 5. And then it's computer. We got Kirtley at spot number 10. So should be pretty cool. You'll get to see a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
So let's go ahead and start the draft.
Draft starting now. Blake's up.
Pick number 1. Christian
McCaffrey. I
McCaffrey.
mean, yeah, like, why not?
Good call.
There's no reason why you should. Let CPU auto pick. Kamara. Interesting.
Alvin Kamara.
I mean, he's
number 2.
number one running back last year. This is you now.
Yeah.
So, what's your thought process here? I mean, there's obviously a lot of guys left.
Yeah.
A lot of high running backs.
I mean, I got to go back to my top 10 running backs. You know, the top 3 are all very close to me, Kareem Hunt and Dalvin. I think one of the main reasons I like Derrick Henry is because he's so good and doesn't get hurt. You know, he doesn't get the catches like Dalvin will, but I'm gonna go Henry. I think he's too dependable.
And we know Christian's going to take Dalvin.
Christian.
Now, of course.
Who'd have thought?
Which it's a great pick, and outside of his
Great pick. Also, Minnesota boy.
Devontae Adams computer there.
That's weird, eh?
Nick Chubb. That's pretty high, I feel like.
Hey,
but
Nick Chubb at number 7.
That's where a lot of people are taking Chubb right now.
Everyone's taking him early.
I mean, and so these computers are built off everyone's ADP right now.
Yep.
So I'm in an interesting spot where I can I've got a couple running backs I can take, or I can just get like just a stud of a receiver, or like the best tight end. I personally don't believe in taking tight ends in the first round.
Unless it's tight end premium.
Yeah, right. But
or maybe even like Dynasty, you could maybe justify it, but none here.
Yeah, and so Travis Kelce has kind of solidified himself to where it's like taking him in the first. He's going to go in the first round almost every league, I feel like now.
Yeah. If you took him here, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad if you took him here.
So looking at this, I mean, it's tough because I think I'm going to go Zeke. No, I'm not. I'm going to go Aaron Jones.
We got Zeke, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler left on the board. Zeke or Aaron Jones here, I think, is a totally good pick.
Yeah, I'm going Jones, and just knowing I'm probably gonna get it. I know I'm gonna get a really good receiver.
You'll have
on
that
that turn.
Back. We're doing snake draft, by the way.
See Kelce in the first round.
Always.
Hopkins.
Always.
That's who I would have taken if I took a receiver more than likely. Actually, I probably would have taken Diggs, which Diggs may get back to me. Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Dang, DK Metcalf in the early second round in the 2-2 spot.
I'm probably taking Diggs here. The running backs are fine to me. Joe Mixon's probably the only guy left in this tier of running backs.
Austin Eckler.
Yeah, you got Eckler. You got Najee Harris, a guy I like, but I think I can get him later. I just really think I'm going to be able to get guys like Josh Jacobs or Clyde or David Montgomery in the 3rd or 4th rounds. And so I'm just going to take the best receiver left, in my opinion, which is going to be Stephon. A.J. Brown's really tempting here. I'm going to go Stephon just because we saw what he did last year with his production. We know he's going to be a stud.
Yep.
Awesome. Finally.
Cool.
All right, yeah, so we'll, after Diggs, it goes Eckler, Mixon, Dobbins, Akers, and now Max is back up.
Our buddy Max.
Max will probably do something smart here. Knowing Matt, I bet Max is going to take.
What do you think about Saquon Barkley?
I was going to say I thought he's going to take a running back there. That's a good pick. I mean, there's obviously tons of wide receiver depth when you're in that kind of middle part of the draft, and you can get two great PPR backs like he just got with Swift and Barkley.
Yeah,
I think that's always good.
Yeah, our buddy Christian's up.
Oh, is he going to double up on Vikings and take Jefferson?
It's there for him.
I don't think Jefferson should go here, but with Christian, he might. Oh, Calvin Ridley. That's not bad.
Calvin Ridley, love that pick. I mean, it's him and Justin Jefferson, to me, they have the same opportunity this year, I think.
Yeah, I think Calvin would be really good
Calvin's
this year.
a better pick. So I'm up. Sorry. Christian's texting me. All right. At this point in the draft, if it was a 10-man league, I would probably have another option at running back. It's a 12-man league. The only running backs that I see here that I would think about taking are going to be Chris Carson or David Montgomery. The thing is, it's going to be a quick turnaround here, and there's a lot of really good wide receivers that I like.
There's still a ton of good receivers left.
We got A.J. Brown. I don't want to double up on Titans players. I mean, it'd be different if they were both in the same position, but still, I don't love the Titans as a team. I mean, it's possible that NFL teams can support a top 5 wide receiver and a top 5 running back. It just doesn't happen that often. So I'm going to pass on A.J. Brown and probably go Justin Jefferson here.
Okay, interesting. Brown might get back to you. I don't know. We'll see what Blake does here.
David Montgomery might get back to me, and that's what I'm going to be eyeing here.
He took to A.J. Brown. He's got another pick. But, yeah, when I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh, Kyle Pitts. Before George Kittle. Interesting.
Kyle Pitts is off early. Not a bad option. Okay, so I'm still going to be looking at running backs here. Is it a 2 running back league?
Yeah.
Yeah. So bell cows are going to get you more points. There's a lot of good wide receivers on the board. The only guy here that I think that... Okay, there's a lot of good wide receivers right here. There's Mike Evans, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen. I'm big on all 4 of those guys. The thing is, David Montgomery's here, and I don't think he'd make it back to me. And I like having running back depth, and I only have Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry does not get pass catches.
There's still Sanders and Harris both sitting there.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we both had Montgomery.
I had Montgomery higher than Harris because I just don't know. You know, it's a mock draft. I'm going to take a flyer. Let's go Najee Harris.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I feel good about that. Najee Harris, Pittsburgh is in need of a lot of things right now, and a running back is 100% one of them.
Josh Jacobs. That's what I'm looking at, and
are you real huge on David Montgomery? The only reason Najee was in, I think Najee Harris is gonna be good.
I think Najee will be. I mean, we both had him as our 10th running back.
Our 10th, but he would have been higher if I'd seen him play a year. You know,
man. So yeah, I got David sitting right here for me.
Yeah, David is sleeping in ADP. Like, he is not top 10. He's not.
I'm gonna take David Montgomery because he's left.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good pick.
He was the best running back left. I need another running back. Now I'm sitting here. I got some guys like Kareem Hunt. The weird Travis Etienne, James Robinson thing scaring me. I don't really want to touch either of them.
I'm out on both.
Like, they both just scare me. I'm like, who's going to be your guy? It seems like they love Etienne, but Robinson was so good last year. You can't ignore it. And you have Chris Carson, who I just don't love. But
hey, Chris Carson is an awesome flex player. He's not a number 4 pick. He's 5 and lower. I would go Hunt before Chris.
Yeah. I'm probably going receiver, and so now I'm just deciding between Thomas and Allen and Mike Evans. The only thing here is Julio Jones I'm not touching right now this early because we don't know where he's going to be next season.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, we've seen his potential.
We don't know what he's going to be.
We don't know what's going to happen with the new QB and whatever, but we know his potential. And then the only thing is Keenan Allen and Mike Evans, I know what they're going to give me.
Yeah.
They're going to give me over 1,000 yards, and they're going to give me touchdowns and so Michael Thomas, I'm gonna take him because of his upside here. I already have Diggs,
Yep.
and I think there's some guys I can get later on that'll kind of help.
Plus, if he shows good numbers that first or second week, you might be able to trade him real quick. I doubt you would do that. I mean, if he's playing good.
Could.
But
Max has gone 4 running backs out the gate, which I don't hate the strategy because when you're sitting here looking at it, look at all the receivers left. Like,
yeah, Barkley, Swift, Edwards, and Carson. Swift, Edwards, and Carson, I'm kind of just like, we don't know what they're going to look like next year. So it's a weird situation. I'm on the block. I'm looking at receivers here. I might look at quarterbacks, PPR. I mean, we're coming around to the 5th. I think because it's Snake, I'm going to get a quarterback next pick. So I'm going to look at wide receivers here. Julio Jones.
Julio, nice.
I'm going to take him over Amari. Amari has so much competition right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, our second quarterback's gone off the board, and Lamar Jackson after my pick. So we see Mahomes going at the end of the second round, Lamar near the beginning of the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
That seems about how guys are going to draft. I mean, as far as their ADP goes, that feels like what will happen. I just like quarterbacks similarly to tight ends. It's just the value they give you like later on in the draft is just, to me, way higher than taking them in the beginning.
Love it. Kyler Murray was sitting there for me right there in the 5th round. Could have cared less for any of the running backs. The wide receivers, I could have got. To me, the next 5 receivers are the same exact player on all teams. The only guy that stands out is Kenny Golladay, but we have no clue what that's going to be like next year. Could have got a tight end, but
I mean, I like
whatever.
DJ Moore. If DJ Moore comes back to me, that's who I'm taking. He last year I think was 9th in the league in receiving yards.
Josh Allen
They just
off
lost
the board.
Curtis Samuel, who was like a touchdown stealer. So I think DJ Moore has a way better and to me, I think they got a better quarterback. I know everyone doesn't like Sam Darnold, but I think he's an improvement
he'll
over.
be good.
I think he's an improvement over Teddy Bridgewater. Like,
yep. So Christian took Josh Allen, so he's kind of had the same strategy as me. He's got a couple. He took 3 running backs and 1 wide receiver, and then he got Josh Allen. So right now, his team, he's got 3 really good pieces, and then 2 50-50s in my head. He has Josh Jacobs and James Robinson, which to me, I would not have taken either of those players.
I knew Max would take DJ.
DJ's off the board. Max needed a wide receiver. He got one.
So
Cooper Kennedy.
This is a weird spot.
Sorry,
I mean,
Cooper Kennedy.
I'm not in love with any player left at this spot. If I could have had Kupp or DJ Moore fall to me, I would have felt really good. Right now I got Tyler Lockett, and that's probably who I'm going with just because of his insane upside. We saw him last year. He just has those games where he goes off and then
He finished a top 10. He finished as a top 10 wide receiver.
But he has those games where he has 3 touchdowns, and he has games where he has like no points.
So every week he's a possible flex, which is awesome.
To me, looking at my team, that with guys like Jones and Diggs who are going to be pretty consistent, and then a guy like Michael Thomas who can be, and then same with David Montgomery, it's like I feel good taking Tyler Lockett here, where I'm just gonna know there's gonna be games where he gives me almost 0 points, but then
It's a great
there's
option.
games
You
he
have
gives
2
me
stud running backs,
over 30.
2 stud running backs, 2 stud wide receivers, and a solid flex wide receiver. Love to see it. Great pick.
So I'm sitting here.
Tyler Lockett in the 5th. Come on,
Yeah.
late in the 5th. That's a great pick.
I got guys like OBJ and I get all these other kind of like. There's a bunch of the second year receivers, first year receivers, kind of all those guys, kind of the same room. And then what's really drawing my eye right now are guys like Myles Gaskin, Raheem Mostert, Javonte Williams, where it's like I've got 2 running backs that I know are going to be starters. So it's like now I can kind of look at these other guys who are in interesting situations where we think they're going to get a lot of touches. And so to me, between Gaskin, Mostert, and Williams, I'm just taking the guy who I know is the starter and I know is going to get most of the touches on his team, which would be Gaskin.
Yep.
Because with Mostert in San Francisco, they have 7 running backs, but they just signed another one, Gallman.
Another one.
And,
they have Trey Sermon, who we're hoping is going to be a stud.
Max at Cortland Sutton, that's a good pick.
That is such a good pick. I wanted that to fall to me. That's the next piece I need.
They're a little crowded, but I'm like in the 6th round. I think Sutton's a great pick.
Cortland Sutton is a stud though. When he was healthy, he was electric. And honestly, he hasn't had a fair shot yet. So this could be the year. Plus, shoot, if they get Aaron Rodgers or something crazy, like if something wild were to happen and they get something out of Drew Lock, like I don't know, but I think Cortland Sutton has a lot of upside. We have our friend Blake here. Blake, how do you think your team's looking?
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 from Blake on his team. So you got McCaffrey, A.J. Brown, Kyle Pitts, Godwin, Kareem Hunt. What do you like about Blake's team so far?
I mean, I love McCaffrey. And then getting A.J. Brown at the end of the second, I think that's a great that's a great grab.
That's kind of a steal, eh?
Yeah, I personally wouldn't have taken a tight end that high. That's just kind of my philosophy when I'm drafting.
Yep.
Also, I wouldn't have taken Pitts before Kittle, but
Yep.
Blake's learning, so
I would probably agree with that, but
all right. Well, Christian sucks, so
Christian took
Pitts
too long.
forced his pick.
He got an auto
Brandon
pick.
Ayuk. That's not bad.
He needed another receiver. He needed one.
Ayuk was one of those guys. He was just like a big play guy last year, where it's like he found ways to get in the end zone. Kind of that weird.
And a
Curtis
team
Samuel.
that needed something.
Yeah.
Ayuk was there. Here we go. I'm up. Okay, guys. I have 2 amazing running backs. Well, one was a flyer, but let's just assume Najee does great in Pittsburgh. I got a stud quarterback, a guy that's going to give me a lot of points every week, and then I got 2 really good wide receivers. On the board right now, running backs aren't looking good. Wide receivers, I like Deontay Johnson. We got to watch out for him this year. I don't like Waddle. I think there's a lot of competition in Miami. I don't love Tua either. I like T. Higgins as a player. I don't think he's going to be anything special with Jamar Chase there now. Okay, Will Fuller. I'm a big Will Fuller guy. I think that this trade is really good for him. I think that he did steroids and he's healthier as a NFL wide receiver because of it. I'm still not going to take him here. Let me look at tight ends. Hawkinson, cool. All right, I'm looking at tight ends here. We have Hawkinson. He's young. He's cool.
I just force pick Noah Fant for you.
All right, so we got TJ Hawkinson at tight end. Sorry, technical difficulties. Yeah. I was looking at a tight end there. TJ was there. He had a great year last year. Jared Goff maybe could be better. Who knows? He got a new head coach. I like TJ there. I mean, I need a tight end. This next pick, I'm probably going to go for another quarterback. I know it's a 1 QB league, but I don't love any of the other players. In a 1 QB league, you're going to have a bye week. You're going to have someone get hurt. If you can get another top 10 quarterback, that's either really good trade capital or even just someone else to sub in. I think having 2 good quarterbacks pretty much on all platforms is a great call. I love Justin Herbert. I also love Aaron Rodgers. I got Kyler Murray. I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers, just an older guy who was the MVP last year. So I'm taking Aaron Rodgers right here.
Probably hit that again. Okay. Yeah, I'm still probably waiting on QBs and tight ends. Like Hawkinson, I would have probably taken here in the 7th round. If he had fallen.
I didn't like taking him there. It's just it got really thin.
Well, he was to me that last tight end left in that tier. It's like you have the top tier of pretty much Kittle, Kelsey, and Waller, and then you have that second tier Hawkinson, Andrews, and then possibly Pitts, possibly guys like Zach. But as far as right now, Hawkinson was the only guy I saw solidified in that other tier.
Like he could maybe get you.
Well, and they're saying they're going to use Hawkinson a lot, but now there's just not a guy up there to me worth it. So I'm probably going to wait as long as possible.
Hey, he's
to
a part
take a tight
of.
end.
He was one of the first guys in tight end university, so I love it.
Brandon Cooks just went. That was going to be my next pick too. I like Cooks a lot.
Did they take Jamal Williams there, or is that Javonte, the new guy?
Javonte Williams.
I don't understand why they're doing that. They have DeAndre Swift. They have Jamal Williams. Why are they taking Javonte? Like, all ADP is big on him over Jamal Williams. What do you think?
I think Jamal's behind DeAndre Swift. Javonte's in Denver.
Oh, that's what I've been getting mixed up.
So
I've been reading DET, but it's in Denver, which is not good news for Melvin Gordon, but I guess he's obviously number 2. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So I'm probably going with a guy here. It's like a little bit of a sleeper, but just someone I really believe in, and I don't really want to take a chance on losing later. It's going to be Deebo Samuel. I think he's got a really good shot to be the number 1 receiver in San Francisco. Probably the best shot. The only problem is he hasn't been healthy most of his career.
He's
That's
the
been
best
the problem.
receiver on that team.
Yeah,
I would agree
I'm
with
saying
that.
as far as fantasy, like
Last year I drafted him really early, and not really early, like probably, let's say he was my number 2 or number 3 receiver I would draft. And it just didn't pay off, but he also, I mean, they didn't have Jimmy. They didn't have anyone. I mean, they were screwed last year, so he was also hurt. So he was kind of a sad one to not show up for you on Sunday, but...
So I've waited a while on QBs here, and I'm about out of them. At least out of the guys I think are going to be really good fantasy-wise. There's still Ryan Tannehill, Tom
It's
Brady.
worn thin as far as rushing upside, unless Deshaun Watson plays. Deshaun Watson's on the board. Kirtley's probably not going to take him because we don't know where he's landing.
I don't know where Watson's going. And I don't know. I'm still thinking about some other guys. I mean, I might take some shots on some rookies here at this point because, I mean, I could still get Matt Ryan a couple rounds later. And so, I mean, we got guys like Jerry Jeudy and Will Fuller's still there, and Jarvis, who's at least going to be solid. You know you can put Jarvis in, and he's going to get you, especially in PPR, just points.
Yep.
And so, you know, I'm gonna go with Jerry Jeudy here. It's like Jerry had an okay rookie
Jerry
year.
Jeudy, get rid of those drops, and he's a stud. I love Jerry Jeudy. I think he's a great footballer. Matthew Stafford gone. Hey, Will Fuller as well.
Yeah.
I don't like Rob Gronkowski right there.
He just scores touchdowns with Tom. Like that's all it comes down to.
What did he finish last year with? How many touchdowns?
Like 10 or something crazy. Wish it would just tell me. That's annoying. I guess he only had 7. Never mind. He's still a top 10 tight end. So I'll just take all that back. But anyway.
What'd you say?
He finished with 7 touchdowns last year. He was a top 10 running back still.
So he's there.
Yeah.
It's just
Or tight end, sorry.
top 10 tight end.
Yeah, so Matt with Stafford, Christian with Brady. So this is where it's starting to look scary for sitting on
it's gonna be
quarterbacks.
Tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough because I bet what quarterbacks are left? Deshaun,
Well, we still got
Justin
Kirk,
Fields.
we got Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, like Baker.
If
Carson
I didn't
Wentz.
already have 2, again, here could be a great place to take a quarterback. I took one to maybe put the pressure on those guys in the later rounds to take them. That way, maybe some other offensive stars would fall.
Yeah, but the more I look at it, the more I'm seeing guys that I'm going to get late that I'm fine with being my quarterback.
Yeah, so Jarvis Landry's on the board.
Jarvis is still there.
Tyler Boyd's on the board. Who I'm really pumped about that is on the board. I'm going to take him.
T.Y.
T.Y. Hilton
Not
is
bad.
good at fantasy. He had a horrible start last year with a old Phillips Rivers, and then he went off in late season. I think this year with a way better quarterback, I think Carson Wentz is going to be way better than Phillip Rivers.
I think it will. He pushes the ball downfield more.
I think
that's what T.Y.'s.
T.Y. is excited
Yeah.
to play for the Colts another year. I think T.Y. could have an amazing year. Honestly, some people may take T.Y. sooner than they need to. He may be a sleeper. Who knows? I like T.Y. a lot. It was just a year ago that he was at least a top 20 wide receiver. I mean, until he got hurt again. What did he do?
Yeah, that's always his problem. He gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's just the problem with T.Y. That's why I've kind of stayed away from him because I've drafted him in the past and he keeps burning me. But
Yep.
anyway, right, so it's looking like I'm the only team left that still needs a quarterback, and I'm one of the only teams left that needs a tight end. So it's probably in my best interest to be looking at a tight end here soon. But with quarterbacks, like I said, there's still so many guys I think I can get later that are good.
Yeah, so
and I'm
it's
fine
my
with,
pick. I'm gonna go. It's a ninth round, by the way. I could use some running back depth. I don't have much of it. I don't like Zach Moss. I don't like Singletary. I kind of like Mike Davis. I don't like any New England quarterbacks. I don't like any Jets. It is time to take a rookie. Ladies and gentlemen, from Oklahoma University, Tulsa, Oklahoma kid, Trey Sermon.
It's not bad.
I like that. I think that Mostert is old. I think Trey is young and new, and I think he's going to definitely take over that 49ers offense.
When I always like spending late round picks on rookie running backs because you see it every year where these guys, like, a lot of them won't get starts at first or something, but it's like
someone's going to get hurt.
There's always rookie running backs that show up in the top 10, 15 running backs every year.
Every year.
I mean, last year it was James Robinson and Jonathan Taylor.
Myles Gaskin.
Clyde was really good for a while until they stopped using him. And then DeAndre Swift, Antonio Gibson, like those guys are scoring tons of touchdowns. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of taking rookie running backs late just because they have such chances to pop off, and we've seen it time and time again.
Zach Ertz off the board.
So saying all of that, I'm going to take Michael Carter here for the New York Jets.
Is Zach Ertz off the board before Dallas Goedert?
Yeah, he is. I mean, and Zach's still really
guys.
good.
I don't know. We don't know what's happening with Zach Ertz.
Yeah, so now I'm getting scared here, and we're losing a bunch of tight ends, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab Austin Hooper because after Hooper and Goddard, I mean, Logan Thomas was top 10 last year too, but after those guys, I don't really love anyone. But I'm gonna nab Austin Hooper here, just to make myself feel good, and then I'll probably grab another sleeper tight end later. Kirk Cousins is gone. Quarterbacks are getting real thin, but I hold fast.
He holds true.
Robbie Anderson's gone. That's a good pick in the 10th round. I mean, that's the computer getting that, but I mean, Robbie. We saw Robbie last year be the wide receiver 1 for the first 4 or 5 weeks or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, him in the 10th round, I think that's great. And then we saw Zach Moss and Devin Singletary go back to back again by the computers, and the Buffalo backfield's just
Dallas Goedert off the board. I think that's a great option. I think that Dallas is going to be.
I like Dallas Goedert a lot.
I think he's going to be playing more than Ertz. I definitely think Ertz is getting traded too. We'll see what happens come June 1st.
Yeah, just to me, the whole Philly offense is up in the air.
Oh, Chuba Hubbard's there.
Chuba is interesting where he could be in that Mike Davis role like last year where because McCaffrey touches the ball so much, if anything happens to McCaffrey, I mean, who's the backup? It's Chuba now. So it's like their whole offensive philosophy is around the running back. So it's like it's not a bad guy
Robert
to have.
Tonyan is in the wide receiver category here.
Weird.
Devontae Parker is there, but man, they just got a ton of wide receivers. He could still be the guy there. I don't love it though. I don't love any of the wide receivers here. I have 3 running backs. I have 3 wide receivers. I have 2 quarterbacks. I have 1 tight end. It's such a weird time in the draft. I'm kind of out on running backs at this point.
Yeah, we're getting near the end. We're doing 15 rounds, so we're in the end of round 10. So really, after this round, we only have like 3 real picks left because the last 2 picks will inevitably be defense and kickers. So now is kind of the time to start filling any holes you feel like you may have, or just taking shots on kind of those sleepers you have that you believe in.
Yeah, I mean Parker or Pittman could. Oh, can you pause it? I'm gonna take a sleeper here.
Just tell me when I'll start it so you can do it.
Go ahead. Taking a sleeper here. We saw the Buffalo Bills have an electric wide receiving core last year. We saw Cole Beasley go off, I think, with Sanders, going from the Saints to the Bills, and he had success with the Saints as well. I think he's a good flex option, a good say Diggs is out for a week, Sanders is the guy. We'll see what happens. Again, things are wearing thin, and a lot of guys didn't pick up quarterbacks. I don't love anyone on the board. I'm going to go Parker.
What's up? Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
sorry.
sign was on the door. Hey, get out.
Here.
Get out. Reginald.
There's no sign.
I was kidding.
Anyways, Devontae Parker got another receiver. There was really no one else. And if he stays the number one, like he was last year in Miami, cool. Feel good about it. What do you think about that pick?
I like it. Parker, I think we've seen it in the past. He has potential to be a number one fantasy receiver. I like the Pittman pick after that. I was eyeballing Pittman here at the end.
Yep.
My problem right now is I still see so many guys I want to take shots on, but I just need to get a quarterback. So I got Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, Baker, Carson, all coming back to me over here. Excuse me. I got all those guys coming back to me here. I mean, I may just take another good guy and then grab a quarterback on the turn. I like Parker there, though. I like Pittman there, too, as well. Damian Harris isn't bad. At the beginning of the 11th round, that's a guy we saw last year. If he could have got more touchdowns and a little bit more receptions, I mean, he could have been really good last year once Michelle was out. And he was just fine. Like he had a bunch of yards in a short amount of time, so that's good. So Tannehill's gone. Kenneth Gainwell, another guy I was eyeballing, he's off the board. I like Gainwell because we've seen Sanders have slight problems staying on the field in the past. Nothing crazy, but he misses games, and it's like a guy like Gainwell, who is a little bit of a Darren Sproles archetype, could see some good use. So here, I mean, there's still a bunch of guys I like. I'm going to go quarterback here because Tannehill's gone. Matt Ryan and Carson are the two left that I think are going to be about the same. I'm going to take Carson here just because I like his situation a little bit better. Matt Ryan's always good, and there goes Matt Ryan.
Great time to take a quarterback.
And now
Tony Pollard off the board. I love that pick. I think that's a sleeper.
So I mean, now I'm probably just looking at some young guys who I think could have some success. I'm actually gonna go big sleeper here. Really not a guy I've talked about that much. It's gonna be Henry Ruggs.
Good pick.
He's to me
Another great Alabama wide receiver on a team that struggles in a division that needs a lot of touchdowns and a lot of throwing yards.
Yeah. I mean, to me, he's the number one receiver behind Darren Waller, the number one receiver for Las Vegas.
Easy.
And they lost Nelson Aguilar last year, who was okay
Pretty good.
for fantasy.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and he had a lot of big down the field catches and stuff. So he's competing with John Brown, who's really good, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take Ruggs just because of his
All right,
upside
I'm
here
up.
and see what he can do.
Ruggs a great pick there. I need some running backs, and there's some guys that I love sleeping on. One of them is going to be Mr. Phillip Lindsay.
That's interesting.
He's a stud player. He has only had 1 year of fantasy opportunity, I think, personally, and I think going to Houston, he's got a lot more opportunity than he had in Denver. Do they still have David Johnson in Houston?
Yeah? No.
Yeah, I think they still have David Johnson, which isn't that big a deal
They
because
only got Mark Ingram as well.
Yeah,
It's a little crowded, but it's like Phillips the young guy with fresh legs there.
Yep.
So we could see him kind of break away.
Definitely could.
Getting the big workload.
Yep. Also, this late, I really like to take backup quarterbacks that are known for I really love taking backup running backs that are just known for when they get the opportunity that they pop off. So I'm going to go ahead and take Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray, every time he plays, he's really good. So if Alvin Kamara's out or hurt or whatever, which happens every year, Latavius Murray comes in and puts up a 20, 30-point week, and it's just like, we love to see it. So I'm going to stash him there, and you won't trade him. He'll just be on your bench until someone gets hurt, probably. Yeah, Christian took Alexander Madison the round before, which is Vikings.
I mean,
Dalvin Cook's back up.
He grabbed his handcuff there because he took Dalvin in the
Took
first.
Dalvin. Yeah, great pick.
At least Dalvin in the beginning of his career had a hard time staying healthy. Last 2 years, obviously, he's been way better.
It's been great, yeah.
But if Dalvin goes down again, you got Madison, who's almost like a Dalvin Cook clone as
Literally
far as the
a
way he
clone.
plays.
Yeah, crazy weird. He's the reason Dalvin only's on 70% of snaps instead of 100. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Kickers
5,
going.
6, 7. There are 7 teams with 2 quarterbacks.
So I'm gonna take again just another guy, second year guy who I kind of believe in that didn't get a ton of really recognition last year or looks, and I think this guy's problem last year is more so because of his quarterback. I'm gonna take Darnell Mooney. We saw him get overthrown a million times last year, and he gets wide open. So I'm gonna take Mooney. I just like, again, his ability to get open. And now we're taking kickers. I mean, not much to it. To me, when I take kickers, I'm like, I just try to take guys who I know are going to be on good offenses.
Yeah.
I don't try to overthink it. So to me, I mean, looking at it here, I mean, I'm just going to take Rodrigo Blankenship because he was real good last year, and Colts have a good offense.
Good pick there. I think this will be a big
Josh
hit.
Reynolds. Could be. Josh Reynolds is an interesting pick. He's a guy who's been... can you hit that mouse again, Blake?
Blake.
Just like move the mouse. Just move it, Blake. Just move the mouse.
It's good.
Thanks.
All right, go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, but Reynolds was a guy some guys were big on in the past, and he never really did anything with the Rams. Now he's in Tennessee, where we've talked about in previous episodes, Tennessee's lost a ton of their weapons from last year. And so there's a lot of vacated targets there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So Reynolds could see, I mean, he could have a surprising season, kind of like Corey Davis last year, where it's like Corey, like, again, just because it was him and A.J. Brown to throw the ball to. And so, like, Corey Davis just kind of went off kind of late in his career.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds is about around there. I think it's about to be his 3rd or 4th year in the league.
Cam Newton going into the 14 of 15 rounds. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, Cam was weird, whereas, like, he scored a lot of points in a couple games. I'm just going to force Christian's pick here.
Okay. Guess I got to go kicker or defense. Doesn't really matter. Oh, that's crazy. Young Hoku is right there waiting on me.
Unkwe. And Max seems to be taking an approach of not taking a kicker or a defense. We'll see what he does in the 15th round, but it's not, to me, that's not a bad strategy in a real draft.
Always something to pick up.
Well, yeah, there is. And so it's like, you can draft a couple of other sleepers you have in these late rounds, and then as the season's approaching, more news comes out on everybody. Then you can decide who you want to drop on your team to pick up a kicker or a defense, and just pretty much stream kickers and defenses all season or whatever.
I'm going Saints. I think they had a good defense last year, right?
You pick Patriots.
I meant to pick Saints. Yeah, I'm going Saints here. I think they had a pretty good defense last year in a lackluster division. I mean, Super Bowl champions. But
I'm going with Tampa.
I like it. They're getting hot.
Yeah, not much to be said about that. It's just defenses. So
all right, the draft is over. We got some pretty stout teams here. Kirtley, let's go through your let's go through the starting lineup and we'll jump over. Go ahead.
Yeah. I got Carson at QB, running backs Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, Receivers, Stephon Diggs, Michael Thomas. Tight end, Austin Hooper. At flex, I got Tyler Lockett, Myles Gaskin, and then obviously a ton of guys on my bench I'm going to trade that out with. Kicker, Rodrigo Blankenship. Defense, Tampa Bay. So I feel pretty good about it.
Yep.
For a 12-man league, I mean, when the hardest part's getting depth at those flex spots. I mean, when I got Tyler Lockett sitting in my flex, I'm happy with it.
Sure, yeah. Any other thoughts?
I'm happy with the guys I got at QB and tight end waiting that long on them. Where, like I said, with tight end, if you're not getting one of those top 5 guys, to me, it's like just wait as long as possible. So I got Austin Hooper super late, and then I got Carson Wentz super late as well. Probably could have got him later. And even with QB, there's guys like Baker Mayfield who didn't even get drafted, who is a solid fantasy QB.
Yep.
Ben Roethlisberger, who threw over 30 touchdowns last year.
Stud, yep.
Yeah, I'm happy with what I got. Yeah, so after that mock draft, my team I ended up with was at QB, Carson Wentz, Aaron Jones, running. God, I'll start over. I'm not gonna say that. I guess say
just
the
like jump into
not.
it. Say just say QB and then say your guy.
Yeah. QB, Carson Wentz. Running back 1, Aaron Jones. Running back 2, David Montgomery. Wide receivers, I got Stephon Diggs and Michael Thomas. Tight end, Austin Hooper. And at flex, Tyler Lockett and Myles Gaskin. Then my kicker was Blankenship and the Bucks defense.
Yeah, all right. After the draft, my roster's looking pretty good. I got Kyler at quarterback, Derrick Henry running back, Najee Harris running back. Wide receivers, I have Justin Jefferson and Julio Jones. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson. Wide receiver or flex spots, I got T.Y. and Trey Sermon. Kickers, Young Ho. And defense, I got the Saints. I like my team. I don't love it. I wish I had a more catch passing. I wish I had a more passing running back.
Pass catching.
There it is. I don't love my team. I got Kyler Murray. That's awesome, but I wish I had a better pass catching running back. I just have Derrick and Najee Harris. I just really hope Najee pays off. I took Najee and Trey Sermon, and those are both big risks. And I tend to like having a team with more running backs rather than less. I got Kyler Murray. He's going to put up really good rushing numbers, so that'll offset it. Justin Jefferson's a top 10 guy this year. Julio Jones should be a top 10 guy this year. And honestly, I really like TJ Hawkinson. I've never had a fantasy team where I've loved my tight end. I'm really hoping TJ Hawkinson pays off this year. So all in all, I got a pretty middle-of-the-pack team that if everyone plays their cards right, I could be in the playoffs and possibly in a championship. All right, guys, that wraps up our early season mock draft. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for listening. Let us know some feedback, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Kirtley, you got anything?
No.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with the No Huddle Fantasy Football Podcast. See you next time.